In this video, we are exposing 12 UK red wine brands you need to avoid immediately. From hidden additives and engineered sweetness to sulfite levels that trigger reactions, what you are about to discover will change how you buy wine. Stay until the end. We will reveal 4 wines made properly with organic grapes, minimal intervention, and nothing hidden. Let us expose what is really in your glass. Starting at number 12, Echo Falls Dark Fruits dominates UK supermarket shelves. But Reddit threads explode with users questioning whether it qualifies as actual wine or flavoured alcoholic beverage. The blend contains multiple additives including E220, E224, and undisclosed flavour compounds, triggering headaches, flushing, and respiratory reactions in sensitive drinkers. The dark fruit's flavour comes from concentrated grape must and flavour compounds rather than quality fruit. Residual sugar reaches from 15 to 20 grams per bottle. That is comparable to fizzy drinks, creating an alcoholic confection rather than authentic red wine. The wine undergoes heavy processing, including acid adjustment with E334, colour stabilisation with additives, and synthetic clarifying agents. There is no transparency about vineyard pesticide use, just manufactured mystery. What makes Echo Falls particularly troubling is that it targets new wine drinkers while delivering a heavily manipulated industrial product. Artificial flavors, multiple E numbers, hidden sugar, and zero transparency. But if Echo Falls shocked you, wait until you hear what this American import is hiding. At number 11, Blossom Hill Zinfandel floods UK supermarkets with Californian promises. The reality? Shocking residual sugar levels, often 18 to 22 grams per bottle. Reddit threads dedicated to wines that gave me headaches consistently mention Blossom Hill, and those reports are widespread. The grapes come from California's industrial regions where glyphosate herbicide use is standard, and it is the same chemical linked to non-Hodgkin lymphoma in multiple court cases. Laboratory testing on similar mass-market California wines has detected glyphosate residues surviving fermentation. You are potentially consuming traces of a probable carcinogen with every glass. The wine uses synthetic fining agents, including isinglass, which are fish bladder derivatives, and this is not disclosed. Vegetarians and vegans may consume it unknowingly, and people with fish allergies risk severe reactions including anaphylaxis. That suspiciously uniform taste across vintages reveals extensive additive intervention, creating artificial consistency. Budget pricing attracts families, and it delivers pesticide residues, fish-derived clarifying agents, and undisclosed processing aids. And that is just the beginning. This next Australian brand trades on heritage whilst abandoning quality entirely. At number 10, Jacob's Creek Classic Shiraz represents Australian wine's fall from grace. As demand exploded, quality collapsed. The Classic Shiraz blends wines from multiple bulk sources across South Australia. Forum users call it assembled wine, meaning different vineyards, different harvests, all homogenized. That consistency isn't craftsmanship, it's factory line processing. Users report splitting headaches that traditional Australian wines never caused, suggesting high congener levels from rapid industrial fermentation. These toxic byproducts accumulate in your liver with regular consumption, stressing detoxification pathways. The artificially smooth finish comes from acid adjustment and tannin softening rather than quality fruit. The grapes often come from high-yield vineyards where synthetic pesticides maximize tons per hectare. Independent testing on similar Australian mass-market wines has detected multiple pesticide residues, including fungicides and insecticides. This is a gateway wine transformed into a corporate commodity with liver-stressing congeners and pesticide traces. Think Australian brands are the problem? Wait until you see how this one engineers wine specifically for British palates. At number 9, McGuigan Black Label Claret reveals something insidious. It is wine designed through market research rather than winemaking tradition. McGuigan deliberately formulates Black Label to hit specific smoothness targets that UK consumers test positively for. Forum winophiles call it focus-grouped wine, created through surveys, not terroir. The blend combines multiple varieties from multiple regions, adjusted through additives until it matches predetermined flavour profiles. That excessive smoothness comes from glycerol additions and tannin management, creating an artificially velvety mouthfeel. The wine contains additives including E334 tartaric acid, E300 ascorbic acid, and undisclosed stabilizers, a cocktail of barely disclosed processing aids. There is complete opacity about sourcing, which vineyards, which vintages, which chemical treatments. Transparency would expose the industrial assembly line. The grapes likely come from pesticide-intensive Australian vineyards where copper sulfate, synthetic fungicides, and herbicides are standard. No disclosure requirements mean consumers remain ignorant about chemical exposure. British targeted engineering, hidden E numbers, and borrowed prestige appear in every glass. If engineered wine shocked you, this discount supermarket staple represents budget winemaking at its worst. At number 8, Casillero del Diablo Cabernet Sauvignon trades on devil mythology while delivering corporate mediocrity. Chilean wines destined for UK export undergo extensive stabilization, maintaining appearance and taste through shipping and storage. Laboratory testing on Chilean export wines has detected concerning pesticide residues including chlorpyrifos, a neurotoxic insecticide banned across Europe but still permitted in Chile. This organophosphate compound damages the nervous system with repeated exposure. That suspiciously jammy sweetness masks the wine's lack of structure. Residual sugars compensate for fruit quality through correction chemistry. The color undergoes stabilization with additives, preventing natural variation. The brand's massive global distribution requires additive intervention that traditional winemaking cannot deliver. The devil marketing has worked brilliantly, selling millions while nobody questions the neurotoxic pesticide residues and industrial manipulation. And if Chilean corporate wine disappointed you, wait until you discover what this French supermarket bargain is really delivering. At number 7, Aldi Côte du Midi Merlot wraps southern French romance around northern European cost-cutting. The reality? Industrial volume from France's bulk wine capital. Côte du Midi is not a prestigious appellation. It is a catch-all designation for mass-produced wine from southern France's highest yield regions. French vineyards increasingly use glyphosate herbicide despite public concerns. Testing has detected residues in French wines sold across Europe. Glyphosate is classified as probably carcinogenic to humans by the World Health Organization, yet UK wine labels require no disclosure about herbicide contamination. Aldi's business model requires rock-bottom wholesale prices. Côte du Midi delivers, with grapes from vineyards prioritizing quantity over quality, processed rapidly and corrected chemically. The complete absence of transparency reveals the compromise. No vineyard details, no winemaker information, just generic Côte du Midi hiding anonymous bulk sources. Southern France romance masking supermarket economics with probable carcinogen contamination. Now, if French supermarket wine troubled you, this little offering might represent the ultimate impossible promise. At number 6, Lidl Doctor's Pinot Noir reveals an impossible contradiction. Quality Pinot Noir at budget pricing. Pinot Noir is notoriously difficult and expensive to grow properly. The grape demands specific conditions, low yields, and careful handling. Quality Pinot Noir simply cannot exist at Lidl pricing without serious compromises. What you are tasting is additive engineering, not grape character. The wine likely contains multiple processing aids, including E334, tartaric acid for acidity, E224, potassium metabisulfite for preservation, tannin powders for structure, and color stabilizers for appearance. This cocktail of E numbers creates an approximation of Pinot Noir while masking inferior base wine underneath. The complete absence of regional information signals bulk sourcing from wherever prices hit targets. Generic labeling reveals generic wine. Budget European wines often source from regions with intensive pesticide use, such as fungicides, herbicides, and insecticides. No disclosure requirements mean consumers remain ignorant about agricultural chemical exposure accumulating with regular consumption. Budget Pinot Noir is wine's impossible promise. You are getting E-number chemistry, not craft. And if budget Pinot troubled you, the next blend uses mixing to hide even deeper problems. At number 5, Lindeman's Bin 50 Shiraz Cabernet demonstrates why blending can hide multitudes of sins. Bin 50 combines Shiraz and Cabernet from multiple South Australian sources. That flexibility allows Lindeman's to use whatever bulk wine hits price targets and then adjust the blend ratio to cover quality variations. Single varietals showcase quality. Blends can disguise mediocrity. That suspiciously smooth, sweet finish comes from residual sugars balancing harsh edges from lower quality fruit. Australian wine grapes often carry concerning pesticide residues. Testing has detected glyphosate herbicide, synthetic fungicides, and insecticides in Australian wines, chemicals linked to hormone disruption and endocrine system damage. These compounds interfere with reproductive hormones and can potentially affect fertility and development. The blend undergoes extensive manipulation, including acid adjustment, tannin management with additives, and color enhancement. Multiple interventions layer E numbers throughout. Lindeman's offers no information about the vineyards, the harvest years, or the treatments used. Transparency would expose the industrial assembly underneath. The blended identity masks hormone-disrupting pesticides and layered E-number additions. Think Australian blends are concerning? Wait until you see what this heritage brand has become. At number 4, Hardy's Crest Cabernet Sauvignon trades on 170 years of heritage, whilst abandoning everything that heritage represented. That flavor uniformity across vintages reveals heavy manipulation. Hardy's Crest tastes identical in 2019, 2020, and 2021, exposing extensive correction chemistry. That consistency requires industrial intervention, including acid adjustments with E334, tartaric acid, tannin additions, color enhancement, and sugar balancing. That peculiar metallic aftertaste links to synthetic fining agents and aggressive filtration processes that strip beneficial compounds. Australian export wines have tested positive for glyphosate herbicide, a controversial chemical that California requires cancer warnings for under Proposition 65. In the US, this same wine would carry mandatory cancer risk labeling, yet UK consumers receive zero warnings about potential carcinogen exposure. The complete lack of vineyard information suggests bulk blending that aims at price points rather than quality standards. Heritage branding is masking contamination that would warrant cancer warnings and excessive chemical intervention. And if the idea of fallen heritage shocked you, this American brand might represent the ultimate betrayal of wine itself. At number 3, Barefoot Merlot represents America's biggest selling wine brand, flooding UK supermarkets. That popularity does not equal quality. It equals aggressive industrial optimization. Barefoot contains shocking residual sugar levels, 16 to 20 grams per bottle. Wine enthusiasts describe it as alcoholic grape juice, stripped of everything making wine worth drinking. In 2015, independent laboratory testing found Barefoot wines contained elevated arsenic levels, some varieties approaching dangerous thresholds for regular consumption. The lawsuit against parent company E&J Gallo specifically named Barefoot products. Arsenic in wine comes from pesticide-treated soil and agricultural chemicals. Long-term arsenic exposure links to bladder cancer, lung cancer, skin lesions, and cardiovascular disease. The European Food Safety Authority warns regular exposure increases cancer risk significantly. The wine undergoes color enhancement using concentrated grape must, acid adjustments, and synthetic fining agents. Users report disproportionate hangovers suggesting high congener levels. The combination of excessive sugar, multiple additives, and documented heavy metal contamination creates serious health concerns with regular consumption. What is most cynical is that Barefoot targets casual drinkers whilst potentially exposing them to cancer-linked arsenic levels. It is candy wine with excessive sugar and documented contamination issues. Now, if American industrial wine troubled you, these next Australian brands might be the smoothest deception of all. At number 2, Yellowtail Shiraz represents Australia's most successful wine export, and perhaps its most troubling. This is not winemaking, it is industrial beverage production using grapes. Yellowtail pioneered smooth Australian wine for global markets. That smoothness comes from extensive chemical intervention. Glycerol additions creating artificial viscosity, tannin softening, and acid balancing. The suspiciously identical taste across years, bottles, and continents reveals the manipulation underneath. Users consistently report worse hangovers from Yellowtail, the price of additive accumulation stressing liver function. Multiple processing aids combine, creating congener buildup your liver struggles to metabolize efficiently. Yellowtail's massive scale requires sourcing from Australia's highest yield vineyards, where intensive chemical use is standard. Testing on similar Australian wines has detected concerning pesticide residues, including glyphosate herbicide and synthetic fungicides. The critter marketing brilliantly distracts from what is inside. cute kangaroo, smooth taste, liver-stressing additives, potential pesticide exposure, and zero transparency. But if Yellowtail shocked you, nothing prepares you for this next brand, Britain's smoothest deception of all. Taking the #1 spot as the absolute worst red wine in UK supermarkets, Most Wanted Shiraz represents everything wrong with modern wine. The name itself reveals the cynicism. Most Wanted suggests popularity. Reality? Marketing-driven manipulation. This wine epitomizes engineered smoothness. That jammy character comes from heavy correction chemistry, not quality fruit. Forum users describe it as wine for people who do not like wine. Most Wanted contains suspected mega purple additions. Concentrated grape must artificially deepen in color and adding sweetness. This industrial colorant is rarely disclosed. The wine undergoes extensive processing, including acid adjustment with E334, tannin management, and synthetic fining agents. That peculiar hollow sweetness comes from residual sugars masking harsh edges while creating addictive palatability. The sugar, alcohol, and chemical combination triggers dopamine responses, encouraging overconsumption. Complete opacity about sourcing. Which vineyards, which pesticide treatments, which additives? The label reveals nothing. Australian wine grapes increasingly test positive for glyphosate residues, the herbicide at the centre of multi-billion-pound court cases. Juries awarded cancer victims billions after finding Monsanto failed to warn about non-Hodgkin lymphoma risks. Yet UK wine drinkers receive zero warnings about identical chemical exposure. Smooth deception, hidden additives, cancer case chemical exposure, and zero integrity in Britain's most misleading red wine. After exposing those 12 chemical offenders, here is hope for wine lovers who want clean drinking. These 4 brands prove wine can be made right. Organic grapes, minimal intervention, zero compromises. At number 4, Giol Merlot proves wine does not need chemical intervention to deliver quality. This Italian Merlot contains zero added sulfites, just naturally occurring trace amounts. For consumers experiencing headaches or reactions from conventional wines, Giol offers genuine relief. The winery uses organic grapes from northeastern Italian vineyards farmed without synthetic pesticides or herbicides. Producing sulfite-free wine requires exceptional fruit quality. Poor grapes spoil without preservation. Clean grapes do not need it. The Merlot undergoes natural fermentation with indigenous yeast and minimal filtration, preserving beneficial compounds including resveratrol, an antioxidant linked to cardiovascular health. Wine communities consistently praise Giol for delivering authentic Merlot character, earthy complexity, and elegant structure without the chemical hangover. Available across UK supermarkets at accessible pricing, proving clean wine need not cost premium prices. Giol proves sulfite-free works, but head to Tuscany, and tradition gets even purer. At number 3, Cantina La Selva Organic Chianti represents Tuscan winemaking done properly, certified organic since founding. The Chianti contains only traditional ingredients, Sangiovese grapes, native yeast, and minimal sulfites. Nothing synthetic, nothing hidden. La Selva's Maremma vineyards are certified organic, with zero synthetic pesticides, herbicides, or chemical fertilizers. They use biodynamic farming to build soil health naturally. Independent testing confirms zero pesticide residues and minimal preservatives, significantly lower than conventional wines. The wine undergoes traditional fermentation, preserving Sangiovese's natural cherry and herb character. No oak chips, no mega processing, just skilled winemaking. Wine enthusiasts highlight that La Selva tastes like authentic Chianti should, with bright acidity, food-friendly tannins, and terroir expression that industrial processing often eliminates. The estate maintains extraordinary transparency, publishing vineyard locations, organic certifications, and production methods. La Selva remains family-owned and fiercely independent, with 3 generations committed to organic Tuscan tradition. For drinkers wanting genuine Chianti without pesticide contamination, La Selva delivers Tuscan winemaking before corporations corrupted it. If Tuscan tradition impressed you, the next French organic might offer the cleanest drinkings of all. At number 2, Domaine Mayrac Organic Red from southern France represents minimal intervention winemaking at its finest. This organic red contains exceptionally low additives, typically minimal levels well below conventional wines. Wine drinkers consistently mention Domaine Mayrac in no headache discussions. The wine is made from organically certified grapes grown in Languedoc, without synthetic pesticides or herbicides. Independent testing confirms 0 glyphosate residues and 0 fungicide contamination. Domaine Mayrac undergoes natural fermentation with indigenous yeast and minimal filtration, preserving beneficial compounds including antioxidants and polyphenols. The estate offers complete transparency about organic certification, minimal preservatives, and winemaking methods. Wine communities praise Domaine Mayrac for delivering authentic French character, herbal notes and balanced structure without chemical complexity. The estate remains family-owned with a multi-generational commitment to organic viticulture. It is available across UK specialists and select supermarkets, proving French organic need not mean expensive, just honest winemaking. If French minimal intervention impressed you, wait until you discover Britain's cleanest organic red. Taking the top spot as the absolute best red wine in UK supermarkets, Vinca Organic Red represents everything wine should be. This organic blend contains minimal additives and it offers complete transparency about every ingredient. Vinca uses certified organic grapes from European vineyards farmed without pesticides or herbicides. It has Soil Association certification that verifies these claims. The wine is made with traditional winemaking techniques, using natural fermentation and minimal processing, preserving beneficial compounds including resveratrol antioxidants that support heart health. Independent testing confirms 0 pesticide residues, 0 glyphosate contamination, and 0 fungicide traces. Wine enthusiasts consistently recommend Vinca for newcomers to organic wine. It has accessible pricing, reliable quality, and widespread availability across major UK supermarkets, including Tesco and Waitrose. What makes Vinca truly exceptional is that it proves organic wine can succeed commercially without compromising principles. For anyone wanting real wine without gambling on hidden additives or pesticide contamination, Vinca delivers exactly what British wine drinkers deserve. Certified organic, transparent ingredients. Nothing hidden. This is what wine looked like before corporations corrupted it. There you have it. 12 red wines loaded with additives and excessive chemical intervention, and 4 that still make wine properly. Subscribe so you don't miss what's really hiding in your glass.